everyone. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to VQ Chat Volume 2. And today's chat is all about Katie. And welcome Katie to the VQ family. And we have opportunity to ask questions to Katie, and so you get to know her very well. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
So Katie, well, we are at the time slightly easing into more close to normal life now from lockdown. But what has been your experience for this COVID-19 lockdown?
Well, it's been okay for me. I mean, I've been very lucky health-wise with my family. I have two very small children, so it's been quite an intense family time. I usually have a bit more space to work and play and practice and think about music. All that time has been taken up by a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, causing havoc in my house, and my husband as well. So it was quite intense at the beginning. We're very lucky that we had a bit of support. We live in Derbyshire, so we have gorgeous countryside around with not many people in it. So we were able to really enjoy, the weather was gorgeous, go for walks. We're doing family bike rides with my daughter sitting on the front, and my son has just started riding a bike properly. So that was really nice. So it was more of an intense family time than a musical time, I guess.
Yeah. But that's great that you live in such a beautiful place surrounded by nature. So in the middle of this lockdown, actually in the pretty beginning of the lockdown, so yes, we called you, and then you joined the BQ family. So how was that experience for you?
Well, it's very strange to think about joining a quartet when there's no performances. There are no performances in the sort of future. I'm kind of an optimistic person, so I keep thinking, oh, next month they'll be fine. I think, yeah, we'll be playing by May, we'll be playing by June. I tend not to think that far ahead. So it was, yeah, at the beginning I just thought, oh, it's fine, we'll start playing soon. I think the hardest thing at the beginning was to think to join something and not be able to play together. What's been amazing on the other side has been to sort of work with you guys on creating projects in a way that I think wouldn't have been possible before. Life would have been so busy, I imagine, with playing concerts and rehearsing, that I think the sort of intense discovery and creating process that we've been through in the last few months, I couldn't imagine of having the time to do that. And in that, I feel we've found a sort of language of talking, and I found my place, because I think at the beginning in groups, finding your place in it, not just around a rehearsal and in the chair, but actually how you communicate about everything else is what you need to learn. And creating a vision for the group with a new person in it, you change the balance, your personality changes how discussions happen. That all shifts. The question will go around to you. How does it feel with a different sort of balance? Because that's what it's been interesting for me, and really fun to find my place in. How does it feel for you having me?
It's been a really fascinating process, because obviously before all of this we were doing a lot of playing work with you, weren't we? We were rehearsing and playing concerts and as part of the process. And like you said, it's shifted entirely, because here we are, okay, we can't do that in situ, but what can we do? And I think that reveals a really interesting quality of chamber music and in a quartet that you very much understand and bring to the table, that it is not just about the playing, it's about the investment you put mentally and emotionally into the group. And I think that process, like you said, we've had so much time to talk about it and just create this plan together. It's been like a whole nother dimension of, just thought and an identity or a feeling within the Villiers. So that's very interesting.
It's actually interesting if you think that normally in a quartet rehearsal, you do come prepared. I mean, everybody comes with their notes prepared, and then you work on a thing together, interpretation. But in some ways, what we've been doing, which is creating these projects, in some ways we haven't been able to come prepared. You start on the sort of first bit of actually coming up with an idea, like making something up. And that starts at a sort of earlier stage. I mean, probably within, you know, a few years, we would have seen each other in a non-prepared way. But usually when you start working with, you know, everything I've done with you so far, it's been, okay, let's come with some music. Here we go. And let's rehearse and create something together, but from a certain base. But somehow everything, the project, so the VQ Create project with, you know, all the students, we've been making it up and creating a foundation, and having to start with those ideas together starts at a sort of a really creative level.
But it also gives us opportunity to come back to such a fundamental question, like how music works in our life, in our individual life, and then in people's life. That's kind of root of our question and then theme, perhaps, when we come to create some project. But one person's idea or inspiration, although it is not concrete, and then we share, and then another person bring another perspective, and then so soon, like, we kind of go back and forth, and create the group idea. And then that process is very similar to rehearsal, isn't it? Like,
the musical.
This is my idea, and this is my perfect interpretation. But we always come to rehearsal. What if this, you know? What if this phrase works like that? Or what if I relate to you more? That kind of openness, and then constantly questioning. So in some sense, that's so similar process for the mind.
I thought that idea of asking if an idea comes across the table, no matter how crazy or, you know, far-fetched it is, to ask those words, what if, you know, what if it was like this? Okay, you know, it might not lead somewhere, but actually it goes to a place where you can kind of imagine the possibilities, and then you have to think, okay, does this idea work for us or not? So
well, I always find that, like, if we're talking about rehearsals, because for me that's the most interesting. I mean, I love performing, but the rehearsals in chamber music, that's what's so great. But I find, like, I practice at home, and I have a vision of what I think the piece is and how I fit into it, and this is how, yes, definitely, I think this is how it works, and I really feel it. And then I get there and I hear somebody else say, oh no, that was nothing. No, I'm much more convinced by how you do it. And somehow being through that process myself, I've been, like, really having ideas and really thinking about the phrasing and everything. Somehow the way I think of it is that it, like, makes you more flexible by having really worked on something and creating something yourself that you're so sure, you're like, if I play it like this, everybody will see that, you know, this is how I feel it, and this is how I think the music should be. And then you hear somebody else and you think, oh, that's much better. And if I do a bit of my thing and then I add a bit of that, and then you're more convinced, and it just makes it so interesting. Everything is that way, I think.
It's basically what happens in rehearsal, or when we hear another person's sound. We do have this instant processing, and then understanding, and then, oh, that's good. So, like, reaction. It's amazing. So we're looking forward to coming back to the rehearsal.
I know, I can't wait. I have my list of, I like having, like, a list of things to practice, and I've been practicing them. It's so nice to start to build those up, to be, like, excited about the future. I mean, for me, with this Villiers project is really exciting to perform, like, the first drafts of Villiers' quartet. I found my score, but it's not the first drafts. So I'm sort of looking through it going, oh no, different music. But those, you know, and to learn something like that with a musicologist, so Professor Dan Grimley, it's so interesting to hear what he has to, because I come into this project sort of saying, oh, now I get to perform this piece, and that's exciting.
Speaking of this idea of, you know, being inspired by what actually you listen to and what you react to, what kind of music have you been listening to while you've been in lockdown? for both of you, perhaps this is
well, so I've actually, my main love of what I like listening to when I'm not practicing, when I'm sort of not working, I love listening to opera, because for me it's just pure joy. I don't have any knowledge of how to sing. I sing very badly. I have no technical information about singing, and for me that just makes it so joyful. I get really transported by singing. So that for me, that's the escape. But actually, I've been listening to quite a lot of different chamber music. My husband works at Cheetham School of Music, and they've done a lot of different sort of remote chamber music projects, including movements that I played with some students sort of side by side. So it's been really interesting to see, first of all, how people can learn, students can learn from a different place, but also, you know, how much being in the same room can make a difference.
Yes.
You know, when you're learning, you know, you can really learn a lot, but actually nothing makes up for being in the same room. So those are the things I've been listening to. And what about you, Tamaki?
I do listen to string quartets, but yes, it's difficult to listen fresh, isn't it? Because you come with knowledge, and then yes, I want to play like this. It's always some kind of study mind comes across. I like listening to jazz. That's what I like the most in my downtime, and then I can listen with complete open heart, and then just it simply enjoy that. Nothing technical, like there's no analyzing mind comes across. Or I like listening to some world music. So yeah, so generally I like kind of ethnic music. So just kind of my escape to kind of imagine people's life, like how these music created, and yeah, that kind of things. Yeah.
And
How
Carmen,
about you?
what about you?
Oh, well, I'm happy to nerd out on string quartets all the time and listen to them and see what other, you know, just other groups end up playing. I also have been listening to a lot of podcasts lately because I never listened to that before the lockdown. I mean, it was just quite random, but now that there's time, I've come across a lot of really interesting, you know, talks, mostly about, I don't know, ideas, philosophy, you know, things talking about human nature, and especially in the pandemic, you know, how we're all changing our behaviors so acutely. That's really interesting to me. So yeah, just kind of if I'm doing some activity, I can listen to a podcast here. You know, there's a lot of interesting things that we're planning, and I just wanted to see what kind of things are you looking forward to, you know, as things unfold. I know the future at the moment is somewhat hazy, but then we do have things in development. And what do you hope for in the journey forward with the Villiers?
Well, what's been really interesting is thinking about the impact in the community that a quartet can have. And for me, starting that with this VQ Create project that we're doing with young composers, I can't wait to see what they write. You know, it's amazing to think about the early stages where we're offering advice and sending them quartets to listen to and saying, be inspired by this, and then to see what comes out. I mean, it's going to be incredible, I think. So that part I think is really important and really interesting to me. And then, yeah, just playing. I just can't wait to play. The variety, there's so much repertoire. Some of it that I've played before, but in different guises, others that I've just never come across. And just creating a sort of program of what to play, what to be inspired by, how to find my place in the quartet, and to add to everything you've done. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, we are looking forward to, you know, this new journey as well. You know, it's just kind of, it's amazing to see this energy ball, you know, bubbling each other and then bouncing each other. And then I am very interested to see how we grow musically, and how we grow as a group together to find a place, how our playing, how our being in string quartet can help impact and a relationship with the community. Yeah, that's amazing things to explore, I feel. Yeah.
For everyone out there who's joining us, if you have any questions for Katie specifically, just let us know in the comments below or send us a message. She's part of the VQ family, and we're really excited for this new phase forward.
Nice to see everyone.
Thank you. Bye.